Hi, welcome. Thank you for tuning in today and today's wonderful session. And today we'll be discussing a wonderful book called Effective Life Management. This is written by the one of the followers of the Sri Ramakrishna Matt. This particular book is now more than 125 pages, but whenever I used to read, I used to highlight the things which always strike my heart. And it happened that I got about easily about 60-70 points, which really was. So that means that book, even though it's 125 pages, it does get into the core of the points which really can connect you. And if you apply the small things and simple things in mind, I'm sure it can do wonders for your life. But again, all these books can only help you on how you can help yourself by taking action. I hope that helps you for you to do better in what you do and stick till the last moment. So I hope you're going to find some value, certainly, and from the great minds and the principles they applied from the beginning of pretty much on 18th century, 19th century. We're still into the 20th century. So I'm sure the message still remains the same, and it's just the different people and how you apply those things to your life makes all the difference. One can only progress as a part of the society he lives in through interaction, cooperation, and teamwork. Society is an organization, and coming together of an individual is what our responsibility. Now, if you understand that in a broader picture, it has a lot of meaning. So we can only progress not by just looking after your needs, looking after staying, just looking after only your needs, and being only on a taker side. Is something that we should always review ourselves. End of the day, you see, we need to understand that how many things are we already voluntarily getting benefited because of the previous generations. You name it. This is not how the way we used to live, just say, at least 20 years ago, or 50 years ago, or 70 years ago. So there is a drastic improvement on what we do, how we do, and things are getting better. That means somebody worked for society to get better. Yes, we are getting benefit out of it, but then what are you doing to leave the same thing that some contribution that you could do for the preceding generations to come? Something that we need to always look, not only eat, look after your family, sleep, and this is pretty much done by anybody, any other life forms as well. So as being a human, what are we going to do? That's something to ask ourselves. So we can only progress as a part of the society which we live in through interactions, through cooperations, through teamwork, coming together. Good is in life. The search for peace, contentment, and happiness is the underlying motive behind all our pursuits in life. The search for peace, contentment, and happiness is the underlying motive behind all our pursuits in life. Similarly, the various desires, actions, experiences, achievements, and setbacks, and the knowledge that we gain as we live life get uniquely reflected in our respective personalities, making us richer in wisdom and helping us to develop our emotional balance. We find that Vedanta philosophy is not the outcome of the meditation only in the forest, but that the very best part of it were thought out and expressed by the brains which were busiest in the everyday affairs of the life. Now, this is something also the people who believed that to get your spiritual life enhancement, you need to live in a solitary, go to the forest and meditate, and so on and so forth. Yes, they do have a different experiences. But pretty much in Swami Vivekananda, also in Ramakrishna Paramahansa missions, they preach that whatever you go through in your life, it's a family life. There are many things that you also can contribute. So the more busy you are, as long as you're paying attention for what is happening around you and learning from each and everything is most important. Truth is eternal and it already exists, but it is only when the mind is made absolutely pure and subtle that we achieve the concentration required to realize the subtlest of truth. Every minute that we spend in satsanga, which is the company of a holy people, holy books, and so on, makes our mind that much stronger and purer. Even spending time in remembrance of the inspiring lives of a holy people is included in the definition of satsanga. Now, if you're not aware of what satsanga is nothing but a prayers in a holy places, which happens in a lot of temples. For example, in a Bangalore where I was and where I lived, the ISKCON temple does satsangas. Many of them ashramas does satsangas, and I used to attend also Ramakrishna Paramahansa Matt back when I studied in Hyderabad in 1999. Not every day, but that particular time, like between 6 to 7, the bhajans happens. So it's kind of the atmosphere is something different, and a lot of people get in there, and the atmosphere itself will change you the way how people interact and act, and at least that's the idea behind also doing the prayers of something you're doing something invisible for someone invisible. I think it's just purifying your own heart with those kind of associations is something that they mention. So satsanga is nothing but association with in a place where be it in a prayers or it could be the books you read in a solitary, so on and so forth. Swami Vivekananda says, as I grow older, I look more and more for greatness in little things. I want to know what a great man eats and wears and how he speaks to his servants. If you want a peace of mind, don't find fault with others, but find fault rather within yourself. Learn to make the whole world your own. No one is stranger. The whole world is in yourself. That goes beyond the reality of the body, basically. In a spiritual terms, if you get into them, you are in everything. Everything is in you. That's in a bigger mechanism of the bigger universal thing that elevated mind speaks, and it's very difficult to understand to that level. But again, it's your internal journey. It's not about learning from the books and how you can take those things. Those things has to come within. The teacher within yourself, the guru within you is sitting in your heart, is someone who's going to guide you. And it might take a long way, but it can take short way too. It all depends on how your heart is driving you. We have to accept the fact that we get what we deserve, and there is no point in blaming anyone for any situation. This is something that we always should reflect in our life. Differentiations such as mine, yours, another, or simply projections of the mind. Universal love becomes possible only when we can erase all dividing lines. We attempt to gain peace without removing our attachments and desires, so we suffer every time of our lives. It is a fool's dream to cling on low material attachments and desires and still want a peaceful life. Never has a person succeeded in finding happiness in the material world before, and never shall such a thing occur in the future as well. You can't solve a problem as long as you are part of the problem. The problem of poverty is solved only when you grow rich. War ends only when peace comes. Illness ends only when health returns. So the problem of sense organs and mind ends only when we identify ourselves with the self within. The one more wonderful example followed by that, moving to a new house is your dream. It will not really provide you happiness that you hoped for initially. Instead, new desires to furnish and paint and all your liking, say wonderful gadgets, what to put, what not to put, destroys whatever the peace you may have initially had. Or possessing a brand new car will again preoccupy your mind with thoughts of upholstery, music system, suitable parking space, and maintenance. So that's what the desires never ends. Today you are in a job, something. It's never that, I can recall myself. Maybe it's never that occurred that, okay, this is enough. You always look for something, finding a better job. Maybe this is not the place. Maybe I can do some more. I have a house, but maybe I need to have one more house. I need to secure for future. Let me buy this car. No, I don't like this car. Let me change it. Oh no, I need now automatic. No, pretty much I would go for. See, there are many things that we go. Ask yourself for yourself. Reflect your things. Think back and see last 5 years, what are the purchases you made, and what were your initial reaction after you purchased, and how long did it last? And if your answer is yes, yeah, you bought a car and you are happy with that for last 10 years, I'm telling you, you are already in the very good track on controlling the desires. But if that's not the case, and to be honest, at least from 2015 till 2020, I changed 5 cars. You know, And the first car was always my ultimate dream. I wanted to go for an automatic, the color, I looked at the performance, so on and so forth. And how many days I used that car? 2 months. And it stayed when I was away from the country, 8 months in the parking. Now, what happened afterwards? I really felt that, I didn't even buy through the loan or anything. I just put down payment and then I purchased the car. And that's a stupid, stupid, stupid mistake that I could ever do in my life. Then I realized, since I was, still working, I said, man, there's no point of leaving the car in a parking. And so I decided to sell it. So it took a long process. So I sell it, losing about 2 lakhs. Now after some time I went back, now I want a car. Again, I want an automatic. So this time I went to a little bit a smarter move. I said, okay, let me find the used cars. I don't want to buy the new one in case if this same thing happens like previous one. So at least I can get some money out of it. Went on every transactions. And then I learned my lessons pretty much after the 4th or 5th purchase. And then I decided, hey, you know what? Uber and Ola is going to be the best thing I needed. And that's it. I'm not going to buy any car. I don't care what people think. Madhu has a car, don't have a car. I honestly don't give a damn and don't give a damn about that. Why? Because this is what I learned from the experiences, and now I am okay to go with Uber, Ola. I know there are times that you really need to have, when it's a commute, etc., for your convenience. But hey, just look at it in a bigger picture. These desires will never stop. Today something, tomorrow something else, different model, different feel, so on and so forth. So that's something that we really, really, really need to control. And then that comes only with a lot of mistakes. So I hope you work on it. Thank you.